Mithil Pradhan is joining us right now. He's been here before and he's sounding very bearish. He's Chief Strategist, Derivatives and Technicals at Violet, our global managers. Mithil, good morning. Good to have you here.
Good morning.
What's the call now? Because last time you were here, you were saying, well, this is looking really scary. And of course, the view was coming in because global markets were looking really bad as well. What's the view now?
Well, nothing much has changed apart from the fact that all markets, whether it's US or Hang Seng or let's say Nikkei, all are actually moving around the August-September lows. Now, one thing to notice is that Japan Nikkei has already taken out the August-September lows and now it is looking bearish with formations of lower low. Hang Seng has taken out that level, but it is consolidating around that level. US, S&P 500, Nasdaq, all of them are actually consolidating near that August-September lows, which are very crucial from a trend decider perspective. Now, as of now, no breakdowns have happened. At least US has not broken down, FTSE has not broken down, Hang Seng has not clearly broken down. But if it has to happen, then I think 7240, 7300 levels could break in the short term. Though my personal feeling is that markets will move from high volatility to low volatility cycles. And we have seen high volatility over the past few weeks. And I think now is the time to have certain amount of consolidation because any which ways Asian markets are closed. So I think you might see Nifty moving between 7300 and max 7663 on the upside over the course of this particular week at least.
So this week between 7300 and 7636.
That's right, yeah. And even for 7663 to be to be reached, market will have to cross the Friday's high that it created. I think as far as Nifty is concerned, it is somewhere around 7520 levels. So if Nifty can move above 7520 today or tomorrow, then yeah, there is a possibility of 7663 being reached.
Does this seem like some calm before another storm hits us?
Well, it does look like because I was counting on the 7290, 7360 zone to be a major medium-term kind of a trend decider level where the markets could have bottomed out. They have bottomed out, creating a low of 7241. The problem is that the rally is very feeble. The rally does not offer any kind of a confidence for me to actually open, a lot of long positions. There have been a lot of stocks that I've been tracking. I have still not got triggers on the upside. So I am not exactly very confident that a major bottom has happened. I think let the consolidation pan out at these levels and then we'll take a call on which side the breakouts could happen.
In the meantime, when we get to the slightly stable phase for now, do you think, as some have suggested, the big beaten down names, PSU banks, commodities, metals, etc., could rebound?
They are already rebounding as such, but if you ask me whether there is a proper pattern in which I see a bottom has happened in the PSU banking space, I don't think so. That looks like maybe some kind of a recovery rally will happen. PSU banking stocks have a lot of resistances on the upside, so for these stocks to change their trend from bearish to bullish looks a little unlikely. I think even they will go for some kind of a consolidation. It's too early to say, but this is what it looks like so far.
Base metals are also at 2-3 week highs, right?
Yeah, base metals are doing pretty well. The case in point is of course Tata Steel. Now Tata Steel is actually near the reason Tata Steel is rebounding for the last let's say 2 or 3 months is because it is near the 2010 bottom, 2011 I'm sorry. And it is also near the 2009 bottom. So those trend lines, if you pull up from those two lows, it is giving some kind of a support to Tata Steel. Having said that, if you look at the chart of Tata Steel, it is still from September onwards, it is actually consolidating. It is not actually showing any up move as of now. So yeah, towards the lower levels, I might look at a low risk buy position in something like Tata Steel. But as far as long-term holding is concerned, I don't think I'm...
What about things like Idea, which broke 100 recently last week? I'm sticking to large caps for now.
Well, Idea is into a clear-cut bear market. I don't think the stock will find any support till at least about 80 odd levels. So till 80, there is no question of going long. If you see, Bharti, which is the leader of the pack, Bharti over the last 7 to 8 years is moving in a parallel, kind of a horizontal movement. Now, of course, 420, 400 levels are the resistance areas, which it touched about 3-4 months back, and from there it is coming down. The bottom or the lower end of Bharti, the consolidation of Bharti is somewhere around 240. In the short term, I still think that Bharti can move to about 330, but over a period of time, I think 240 is a proper level where Bharti will slide to.
Okay. What about Maruti, Tata Motors, Bajaj, Hero, Auto Pack, large cap?
Well, they don't look too bad, but at the same point of time, there was a falling wedge pattern from where Tata Motors DVR at least gave a breakout on the upside, but it doesn't seem like the breakout has succeeded. The stock still seems to be moving down. My feeling looking at the chart and the wave structure is that there might be one last down move, which could be pending on something like Tata Motors. When we come to Maruti, I think what we have seen so far is a break of a short-term level. I think if 3600 kind of levels, which look like some kind of a support, if they are taken out, then we may head lower in Maruti. At this point of time, I'm looking at 3600 levels. I will see what kind of patterns it makes at 3600, but the nearest support is 3600. We'll see when it comes near that.
Bajaj, Hero?
Well, nothing I've found of any importance, because Hero Honda is actually consolidating. If you look at Bajaj Auto and if you plot the long-term charts, let's say on a weekly scale or something, it is actually creating some kind of a symmetrical triangle. Now, that symmetrical triangle has not been taken out as of now. And unfortunately, symmetrical triangles do not offer any kind of, advance warning of which way they are going to break out. So again, we will have to wait for a breakout before taking.
I missed out private banks. I mean, the ICICIs and the Axis is coming up a little bit last 2-3 days. ICICI no respite, but IndusInd has been the strongest, I guess, of the lot.
See, banking, you need to understand one thing, that Bank Nifty over the period of last 10 years has been moving into an uptrending channel. When it went to about 20,000, it went to the top end of the channel, and from there it is moving lower. From my perspective, Bank Nifty does not have any support till about 12,500, 12,700 levels. It is actually around 15,300 levels right now. From the kind of strategy that I follow, I will not get into Bank Nifty unless it reaches that major support, which is around 12,500 or 12,700. I think at this point of time, Bank Nifty...
That's where it comes to the lower end of the channel.
That's right, yes.
Okay.
And, apart from that, it is also a Fibonacci trend decider. So, till it comes to that level, I don't think there is any point to get into Bank Nifty at this point.
Now, if I ask you, without naming sectors, what are you most comfortable taking positions in? What would you say?
I don't find any sector in which I can take a position. Look at oil and gas. The leader of the pack, oil and gas, Reliance Industries. Maybe I can look at something like pharma, because pharma has come to the low which it created somewhere around, I think, about 2 years back. Lupin has created a double bottom on the longer term charts. So Lupin is something that I might look at in the pharma space. Look, we have already spoken about PSU banks, we have already spoken about banking, we have already spoken about metals. They are not going to rise so soon. At this point of time, I am at a loss of opportunities to buy, especially at least technically is concerned. Maybe the valuations are great, but technically I don't.
What about on the sell side?
Sell side, as I said, the best point, the best stocks to sell will be, of course, metals when they rally. Instead of selling Tata Steel, which is at a support, I might look at something like Hindalco. Hindalco is looking very delicious as far as selling is concerned. I would take short positions, as I said, in Reliance Industries, because it has taken out some major supports around 1,000. If it goes again below the 970, 980 levels, that will be another opportunity to short. So yeah, there are a few shorting opportunities, but I'm still waiting. What happens today? Whether if Nifty is not able to cross today's high, then I will be able to take a short position today. If it does cross,
you mean last week's high or?
Yesterday's high, or let's say it made a high around the same
75.20 or so.
75.20, yes.
Okay.
If it cannot cross the high, I will take a short position now.
Okay.
If it does cross, then I will wait for 76.63 to take a short position.
Okay. So rise a little bit and then maybe sell. Mithil, thank you very much. Good speaking with you. Appreciate you joining in this morning.